Watkunuradu, and welcome to this political update. As you can see, I have a couple of bodyguards here with me on today's report, and we'll be getting to them very shortly. In the meantime, we're going to start off with some changes to the Office of the Council of Chiefs. That is the advisory body that works with Chief and Council. And some major announcements this week, as Winona Polson-Lahash has been named as the new Chief Political Advisor. So she'll be working with Chief and Council and basically be kind of in charge of the political goings-on with the support staff and working directly with Council. Also, she will be replacing Mike O'Brien, who's been doing that job for 7+ years. And Mike will be now moving on to the Labor Office, which is being set up. He'll set that up and become the director as time goes on. So very busy times. I'd like to thank Mike for the great work he's done over the years. And of course, we've worked with Winona for the past 3.5 years, so we know what she's all about. We expect great things out of her here at the MCK. Getting on to some of the other goings-on, a community decision-making process meeting was held on tobacco, kind of a historic one because that whole issue has been in Kahnawake for a long time. Many want to see regulation, including the MCK, and many within the industry trying to protect what the industry is, and it's been a real challenge over the years. The first meeting went very well, about 50 people in the audience, also several observers, and the agenda went really well. Everything was a success. Of course, it's very preliminary. We spoke to a couple of the people who were involved in the meeting.
Well, it went about as well as we figured. You know, a lot of people want to see this get done. I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't show up. There's a lot that did. You know, and I've been a proponent of a different way of doing things. But this is the way the people decided to do it, and it seemed to have gone very well tonight. We went through 4 sections with way ahead of schedule. Everybody seemed to agree with everything we wanted to do, and we're going to continue.
There was a very good diverse crowd here tonight. There was a mixture of industry people and community members. The meeting went very well, and I was very glad with the outcome. Everything passed with consensus.
Well, to tell the truth, I didn't see many community members that were not in the industry here. I would like to hear from those people. You know, it'd be nice if a lot of those people would show up at the next meeting, because the next meeting there's going to be a lot of questions about pricing and jurisdiction, about the enforcement, and all the types of questions that were never going to be answered before.
The meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes are going to be answered at the next meeting. So if you have questions, you could find out what happened here tonight. I'm sure everybody's going to talk about it. All the people that were here, it was a nice showing. So, I don't know, that's about it. Be here. If you want to say something, be here.
And just to finalize the meeting on tobacco, one topic that will be probably discussed over the next few months is the passage of the section in the law which allows for only locally or native tobacco to be sold in Kahnawake, and that includes not only at the tobacco shops but also at the mom and pop stores. So that might be an issue for some, but it was passed unanimously and through clear consensus at that meeting. More meetings to come, of course. Speaking of meetings and the community decision-making process, the next membership meeting is coming up on the 12th, which is a Thursday. And the first part of the agenda went well, so just check for the press releases about what exactly is on the agenda, and we'll get to that. The community meeting, the fall community meeting, which is the old band meeting, was also scheduled for next week, but that's been moved to the following week, so it'll be Tuesday the 17th. Lots going to be on that agenda. It'll be finalized in the days to come. In the meantime, let's talk about some other issue that has been in Kahnawake and also actually in the Montreal region for the past several weeks. The planned dumping of raw sewage, untreated sewage, into the St. Lawrence River because of the problems with the Montreal sewage system. Kahnawake has been involved in really taking issue with this. Our environment portfolio chief is Clinton Phillips, and Clinton, you've been quite busy over the last little while. First of all, you were at a meeting just last week with Environment Canada and also the panel of experts who are putting together a report on the situation as it is, and hopefully putting some recommendations there. Just tell us your perspective of what happened and where we're at.
Well, I guess the meeting was basically just an information sharing session about process, nothing more than that. They outlined their mandate. Environment Canada set out how things were going to unfold. The panel of experts clarified what their mandate was, and their mandate simply is to gather scientific information on the pros and the cons of doing or not doing the proposed project. It was good for us to hear what they were, looking at and how they were going to render a recommendation, I guess. But as of today, we still haven't heard or see anything of the report, with the extension granted by the minister for another week.
Well, our reason for being there was also to send a message to the powers that be. What was that message?
The message was there is a duty to consult First Nations people, and Kahnawake has not been consulted in any way, shape, or form in this process. We hammered that home time and time again at that meeting and through correspondence to Ottawa, that there is the duty to consult, and that duty is not a courtesy. They have an obligation.
All right, thank you very much. And by the way, the recommendations from that independent panel were actually presented to the current minister, who is going to be very soon the former minister with the Trudeau government coming in. So the new environment minister will have some work to do. On a happier note, this past week we had some young ladies participating in an Indigenous tournament in faraway Brazil, and not only did they perform well, and it went so far beyond that. Chief Carl Horn is with us, and Carl, it's a proud moment not only for Kahnawake but for people from around the Indigenous territories.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Once again, congratulations to the girls and the families from Kahnawake, but more importantly, they built a stronger relationship with our sister communities. There was girls from Aguasasne and Kanesatake, I believe, that also went, and it's a big positive thing to strengthen that relationship with our sister communities, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And really a tournament that I have to admit, when it started, there was no way I was thinking we're going to win. I thought it was just nice that we'd participate, but as we pulled off a major upset in Brazil, they live, eat, and breathe soccer over there. So now coming up this week, some of the players are back, but on Friday morning, the rest of them will land. The coach, Harry Rice, will be there. So we have a little something planned.
Yeah, we're hoping a lot of crew members show up and show their support for these girls. They're arriving Friday morning at, I believe, 9:15. So by the time they get through customs and whatever you got to do, pick up baggage, we're hoping that they walk down at 10 o'clock and they see a large contingent of community members there to welcome them back on a job well done. It's a big thing for our community, especially for these young girls that went, because it goes beyond sports. To be honest with you, it builds a stronger confidence within them for future and endeavors in their life. It builds their confidence and for a healthy lifestyle, and it'll be a great experience that they'll remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I understand that they were great ambassadors for not only Kahnawake but all of Iroquois.
Yeah, once again, big shout out to them and Harry Rice and the coaching staff. But not only that, to the community out there that made this trip possible, because there was a lot of large fundraising that was done prior to them leaving, and big thanks to community that supported them getting over there.
All right, thank you very much, Chief Carl Horn. Don't forget that event this Friday, and they'll be landing at Pierre Elliott Trudeau International Airport at about 9:15, and KTV will be there. Finally, a group of students and their teachers came in from Deerfield, Massachusetts. And there's a little historical connection between Kahnawake and Deerfield. As we know, the Deerfield Bell is here in Kahnawake. And as a matter of fact, many of our ancestors came from Deerfield. Some of them were captured many years ago. But the relationship has actually improved over the years. And we had some students in, and we spoke to some of the participants who stopped by, visited Kahnawake, and dropped in to see Chief and Council.
we raise that up in class. You know, we have a chance to look at the art that remains. We talk about the bell that is here in Kahnawake. And, you know, our path, Deerfield Academy, Deerfield, Massachusetts, our paths have crossed many times. We even speak about a community of children or ancestors of Eunice Williams that came back south from here in the 19th century and spent some time in Deerfield. So we periodically interact, and so we're trying to continue that tradition.
Yeah, there's actually a bit of a relationship, especially I guess in the past few years. I know there were some gifts exchanged. The Grand Chief, our former Grand Chief, was there last year.
Yes, correct. And it was a terrific visit. He also brought a couple of storytellers with him, if I can say that, a couple of women that told us some stories about this place. We then visited, learned a little bit of the language, and you know, for us it's great to get perspectives that aren't our own. You know, the students obviously hear from their teachers all the time, and sometimes it's good to hear from a different kind of teacher.
The course has been really interesting. In general, it's kind of a broad spectrum of Native American topics, but actually going to a reservation, being in a single region, focusing on this one group of people is really cool to get this first-hand experience.
How about Kahnawake itself? Was it something you expected when you got here, or is it a little different from anything you thought it might be?
Well, I got to see a couple maps before I came up, and being on the river and all, I saw that coming. I was interested to note that it's just a normal neighborhood. It's nothing like I haven't seen before. It's residential, kids playing on the streets, there's lacrosse, there's hockey going on, people with their dogs. So while it's your own community, I wasn't surprised at all. I've had a great time, and I think that the general hospitality of all the people is really excellent.
And so that's our political update this time around. Lots to report. There will be many other reports because it has really been extremely busy here at the MCK. So keep your eye out on other KTV reports. And also check out the new KTV on Paul's Cable, Ganadago Community Programming.